Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Frisky Friday. We've already done a month's worth of Frisky Fridays, so make sure you check out the YouTube channel, Self-Care University. Okay, there's two of them. I know it's a little confusing, but you will find it. And then you can go in and you can find all the Fridays that you want to watch, all the Saturdays. It doesn't matter. I am so excited for you to get to take a look at the compilation of all of those. I'm super excited. So my name is Connie. I'm a registered nurse, and I'm also a certified intimacy coach. I have been providing this education for 27 plus years, and I decided that I wanted to get my certification in it. For one, it was beneficial because it did go along with the style of education that I do for hormone balance, hormone education, hormone mentorship that I do for clients anyway. But this is perfect because intimacy, there are so many different hormones that are involved in intimacy. And then whenever I speak to couples or whenever I speak to just women or just men, it is easy to have a conversation and say, I'm a certified intimacy coach. Let's hear about what you have going on. So this is not a medical, it's not really like a medical appointment unless it is, unless you need advisement on things like ED or low libido. Those are definitely going to be a wonderful time for you to book that appointment and let's have a conversation. I'm going to go over some other ways that you can connect with me. We can go over your information that don't really quite need to be so in depth yet. If you want to just take a look at some of these topics that we're going to talk about and see if any of these apply first. Okay. I knew I was going to cough. There we go. All right. Today we are talking about something that has come up. It's come up a lot on social media, and I am on every social media platform, whether it's X, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I have been almost on every platform, and there are some that I kind of land on and check in on my accounts. But then whenever I do a little bit of scrolling and I do a little bit of research in some of these groups, especially the ones that are geared towards women's and women's health, I do see the topic of disinterest in intimacy. So let's just be honest. This is something that many women experience at some point in life. If you've never experienced it, I don't want to jinx you or anything like that. It's not like something's going to be coming up and it's not a rite of passage to go through it. Does that make sense? It's not a rite of passage to experience it, but I'm just saying there are times that stress, hormones, exhaustion, or just feeling disconnected can lead to that lack of intimacy. Okay. And whenever I'm talking about lack of intimacy, it could be the lack of wanting to hang out with other people, like your best friends, the lack of wanting to be intimate with a partner, the lack of even wanting someone to touch you. That can also happen very much during postpartum. And make sure you ask me about my postpartum program. If that is something that you are, if that's where you're at in your journey is postpartum, let's have a conversation. I want to start today by reminding you that disinterest does not mean disconnection. It doesn't mean that, oh my gosh, it's over. Yep, I've reached the point of where I no longer want to do X, Y, or Z. I must not be connected anymore with my partner. That's not what that means at all. It doesn't mean you're broken, and it doesn't mean that you don't love your partner. It simply means that your body and your emotions, they're just asking for something completely different. And that's okay. And you might be finding yourself, am I in a season? Am I in a year? Am I in a millennium of this? If this is happening to you for longer than like 3 to 6 months, it's time to have this conversation with me. And it's time to go ahead and get this nipped in the bud, because you would, if you were to look at the Maslow's hierarchy of need, it's like this triangle of what's so essential in the human body. The human body needs oxygen. The human body needs food. Intimacy is right up there with oxygen and food, because intimacy, we're going to go over different styles of like, whether it's intimacy, or whether it's hug, or whether it is, let's talk about it. But let's break this part down too. Okay. Let's try to understand what is the disinterest. Okay. So when we say that we feel disinterested, what we're often describing is that it's our body's way of saying, I just need rest. Or I need to feel emotionally safe before I can get physically close. Like I said, there are times that it could just be a hug. It could be in the passions of intimacy. It's just, your body could just say, I have so much. I have so much. Where I have seen this most is single moms, or moms that are stay-at-home moms, where that is their job, is to care for their children, to raise their children. Some even homeschool their children, and even some as early as when you have an infant at home, even to when you have teenagers. Okay. So sometimes the issue isn't about intimacy itself. It's about everything that comes before it. Remember, we just, like, sometimes you just kind of feel like this is yours, this is yours, this is yours, this is your, you just don't want that. And that could be something that you are saying, I'm just tired. I'm just over that. And sometimes repetition of where this always leads to that, and then that always leads to that. Okay. And then done. And then next time, this always leads to that. And then that always leads to that. And then you're done. It's that repetition where it's just kind of like, there's no change. It's always on Saturdays. It's always at 7:00. It's always at this time, at this moment. If you're trying to plan for a pregnancy, that makes sense. But I get it. I've seen some people where they plan for intimacy. They schedule for intimacy because what they do is they are, let's say a nurse that works a 12-hour shift, and then you're just exhausted, but your partner doesn't work a 12-hour shift, and they're like, hi, how are you doing? You're like, ugh, you know what I mean? There's just times when your brain can say, hey, this is good. This is good. This is natural. This is what we do. This is normal. And if you don't feel that way, and if you don't feel safe, communicate about it, journal about it. If you don't want to talk about it to your partner, write it down in your journal and say, this is how I feel right now. I just want to see if the words that I'm saying, what's coming across, if this makes any sense. I'm just trying to figure it out. If you're someone who shares your journal with your partner, or if you're just like, well, if they see it, they see it. But, or if you're just kind of like, I just really don't want to say it, but if I can write it down and then we can have a conversation about it. Sometimes that's the best you can do, because you are opening the lines of communication. All right. So let's talk about stress that has not been released. If you've got a job that's continually stressful, that is not your partner's fault. Your partner still has their needs. When you go to work, when you do your thing, you give 8 hours of your best. And then when you get home, it's like they get the rest. I will tell you, that is going to create some severe tension. So if you have stress that's not been relieved, you've got to find a way to journal. You've got to find a way to talk. You've got to find a way to open up your car window, let out a yell, let it go, and then go inside and have a great time with your family. I am not saying to forget that you are human. I'm just saying that at home, these are your home people. These are your work people. Work and home people, when it starts to become this intersection of where you're starting to muddy the waters, it just gets really weird and bubbly. Okay. Because for one, you might over here have someone who quits or who, that got fixed. But these people over here are going, oh my gosh, this is terrible. And then they have no idea that during that whole 8 hours, something might have been resolved, but they're over here stressing out. Home be home, work be work. Okay. I would never merge the two. Now, if you work from home, that's a whole different conversation we'll have. What about the mental load you've been carrying? What if the mental load that you've been carrying was a diagnosis that you received, or that you heard from your mom and she said something about your dad, and then you just have this mental load that you're carrying, and then your partner comes up to you, has no clue what's going on, and they say, how you doing? And they're like, not right now. And they're like, they have no clue what's going on. Okay. Just sometimes you just don't have the mental capacity to do that. Also, what's interesting is there are times when people are empathetic, not sympathetic, not where you totally have been there and you can sympathize, but there are people that empathize. You can empathize so much so that it can be so toxic. Okay. I'll give you a case in point. So you're watching TikTok and you see this story about a little boy that went for a walk, and the next thing you know, bloop, there was a lake. There was an incident, and that was the TikTok that you watched. Okay. Or the reel or whatever. And then your partner comes into the room and is like, okay, all right. Ooh, let's do you. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm excited. And they're like, they have no clue that you just empathized with the mom that was being interviewed after the whatever. Okay. There are times when that is too much to empathize. So much so it could be toxic to your relationship, and you have to pack that away in a box, and then, okay, and then you're in your home, you're in your room, this is your partner, and okay, they're excited, they have no clue the TikTok that you just watched, and just be like, awesome, can you give me just like 5 minutes? Okay, so you can just kind of pack that away. There you go. All right. What about a lack of rest or nutrition that's draining your energy? And I'm talking to you practitioners. I'm talking to us practitioners as well. Okay. I'm not just talking to you. This one, we can all relate to with if we're not feeling our best, if we are sick. I mean, you've got a partner that's constantly sick and they're like, oh my gosh, do you have another cold? Oh gosh, you have another GI bug. Well, who wants to be intimate when you have a GI bug? That is just no fun, right? That's just not the time to be given the look of, are you ready? This is a time where you've got to watch what you're eating, get nutrition in, get that stamina going. If you want to have a conversation about what foods are great for that, let's go. If you're trying for a baby and you're just like, we've lost our stamina, we have hit our block, let's have a conversation about that, because I have some exciting ideas for you all. All right. What about hormones? Oh my gosh, they play a huge role in this. When estrogen and progesterone is kind of like the equalizer. It's just the easiest way to say it, right? But then when your progesterone and your estrogen and your progesterone, when they start to do this like weird fluctuation, especially like perimenopause and postpartum, our libido, it just naturally shifts. It's just kind of like, I was excited today and I said, hey, come and just ask me tomorrow. You were excited today, but you're just like, oh, I just feel gross. I've got baby spit up all over me. Or I just nursed, or just, there's so many different things that are going on. And it's just kind of like, and then it becomes tomorrow. And then it's just kind of like, just remember those hormones are shifting. And this is why I appreciate the postpartum discussion, because it always includes the other partner, because you're the one who had the baby. You're the one who has the hormone shifts. And it's interesting if you've adopted. It doesn't matter. it's very, very interesting, and it's very important to still book a call, even if you are not necessarily postpartum, like you birthed the child. There are just things that go on in the brain between even whether if you're single and you adopted, if you are in a marriage relationship and you adopted, there are so many different things. Isn't it wild? It's interesting. All right. It's not a dysfunction whenever the estrogen and progesterone are just kind of like on this weird mini roller coaster, but it's really can be that psychological moment. That's the part that I was telling you about in the brain. Okay. So here's what I want you to remember. Affection and intimacy, they are not the same. Affection and intimacy are not the same thing. You can express love and connection in so many other ways. Okay. Those gestures, they can sometimes bring you closer, and where a hug can be so powerful. I was watching a show the other day, and this man leaned up to give his wife a kiss goodbye, but she made sure that she hugged and embraced the children. But when it came to him, he leaned forward and she turned her head and she walked away. And this was on a show called Wife Swap. At the end of the show, they didn't all live happily ever after, but there was some breakthrough in some like a new road that was built, because that road was there was just some signs that were just saying, do not proceed, do not enter. But there was this new road that was paved together by them. And it was something that they were so comfortable with. And it was a realization of what she knew she wanted to do, she needed to do, but she just needed it unearthed. And so beautiful. So when you're having a conversation with me, it doesn't matter what's going on, because what matters is, what is that goal? What's the goal? If the magic wand was waved and you can have this one wish, what would it be? And then that is what if it's logical and doable by both parties, let's go ahead and work towards that. And let's help you make that road. Okay. Where physical intimacy, it just alone is just not, it just isn't everything. Okay. It's very much, if you know someone, it's about 20 to 30% of the relationship, where the other part is paying bills and buying a house, and going out to eat and cooking dinner and breathing and sitting on the couch and going to work, right? Okay. So ways to show affection beyond intimacy. This is all about education. This is not a diagnosis. This isn't something that I'm telling you have to do. This does not this shouldn't do anything except for open your mind, to be open, to go, interesting. And at this moment, if you feel like you want to write someone's name down, you want to send this, I want you to share this video out with those who you know this would be perfect for. And why? Instead of just sending it and someone going, Frisky Friday, oh my gosh, what are you sending me? Well, she's a nurse and she's a hormone nurse and she's talking about this and she's a certified intimacy. Give them a little bit of, open up the letter just a little bit to tell them what's inside, so they're not like, what did you send me? Especially if you send the preacher's wife this message, I would hope that you give a little bit of insight to what this video is about. And then they're going to be like, oh, that was so great. Thank you so much. That wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Okay. So what does it look like to go beyond intimacy, and what is it like? What are some simple and powerful ways to reconnect with your partner, even if you're not entirely in the mood for intimacy? This I like to call, we get to stop saying that we have a headache. We get to stop saying, I'm just not interested. We get to explore other options. Holding hands. I have done this education for years. I have saved marriages. I have saved lives with this information right here. Just holding hands, skin to skin. And if you can just do this, that will probably mean more than you know. Have you ever had someone who you like come up to you and go, "It is so good to see you. It is so nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. How is everyone doing?" Because they're touching you. That's a very intimate thing. Okay. And it's that skin to skin. It's like literally when oxytocin is released. Oxytocin, that is the same hormone that builds trust and calm. So important to know that just touch is just more than a touch. Okay. And you can do it wrong. You can do it wrong. You've got to do it with kindness. Watch a movie together is another one. Something light, funny, nostalgic, something that brings laughter and like this shared emotion. I know that if I watch the movie Groundhog's Day with my husband, so many points. Nobody's on a point system, but you know what I mean. Oh, so many points. I have seen that movie 5,265 times. But if I need to see it 5,266 times for my husband to know that this, I'm not on my phone. I'm not scrolling. I'm literally watching the movie with him. We could be holding hands. We could share a snack, share a drink, make a smoothie, whatever, or not. Just sit there and watch the movie and just have this moment of where we look at each other and we start like finishing the sentences because we've seen it so many times. Like that. What about writing a love note? Ooh, I probably hit a Hallmark cheesy moment here for some of you, and you're like, whoa, that's wild. But I'm just going to tell you, if you've already tried everything, this one will most likely do the trick. So you can even start with what I call shared journal. I have spoken to my husband about shared journaling. It is so wonderful. I appreciated it, especially in the beginning of our marriage. It was so neat. Why? Well, I was watching this comedian and he said that men have a nothing box. Okay. And women, they have this connection that goes to that connection. If you know the comedian I'm talking about, he is a marriage family, I think he's a therapist, but he got into comedy because they just understood what he was saying. If he made it into like a joke where it was more like a presentable moment where we could all have a good chuckle, we could all have a good laugh, or oh my gosh, that makes sense, right? So when you are newly married, when you are newly dating your partner, everything is just the conversation's flowing. You're getting to know each other, blah, 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 right? But when you've been married for like that 7-year itch that people talk about, or you've been married for 20 years and you feel like you've lost that, you haven't disconnected, you feel like you've lost a little something, get a shared journal. It doesn't matter what kind of shared journal. It could literally be a spiral notebook. It does not have to be expensive, okay? So you each write a few thoughts one day, and you get to read what your partner said. You could have a schedule of where you're AM, he's PM, you're AM. It doesn't matter, because you get to read the note that your partner left for you that day. This has been such a game changer for my clients, because communication, it's got to be like 70% of a relationship communication. You can communicate with not communicating. You can. You really can. By not talking, you can still communicate. So what I love about shared journaling is that you can put something that you appreciate about them. You can put a memory. You can put a prayer. And then they write in the next time, right? It becomes your little keepsake of communication. Now, going back to the comedian, where the women have blah, da, 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 and men can have a nothing box where they think about absolutely nothing. Now, women, don't take up the entire page, because unless he loves love notes, unless his love language is communication, girl, keep it sweet and concise. Okay? Save some of those thoughts for the next day. Okay? Let him just read, just sandwich it up. Okay? We don't need the entire lunchbox. We don't need the whole store. Okay? And we're not criticizing. We're not judging. We are just, and if you don't do this, dear Lord, I pray that my husband would get his act together, because he just made me so, nope. That's not what that journal is about. Okay? The shared journal could be a prayer, something like, Dear Lord, today's been a rough day. I saw a video and it made my heart sad. Please help me in how to give this to you so that I can be available to my family. Great. Then your partner comes and they're the PM. They get to read your note. I swear, man, if you write, hey, babe, you looking so good, like a snack, unless your partner thinks that is the most funniest joke and you are just going to be super quick and simple about your note, you're probably going to receive the prayer that she was really wanting to write down. Okay? So men, what is a thought? A thought today could be, it was so great to see you in that black dress. I remember the day that you wore it. You wore it, and it was the day I received my certification in yada yada. And it just reminded me of how grateful I am for our family and blah, blah, you know what I mean? Men, be specific and just give us something. Okay? Just melt the butter a little bit. You don't just have to throw the whole block at us, but just kind of open it up, make it smooth, make it land. Okay? Do your best. No one's asking you to be perfect, men or women. No one's asking you to be perfect. But I'm just saying that when it comes to writing a love note, you don't want that to become a toxic book. Okay? You will find something to write. You will find something to say. And this is interesting. If you're someone who loves jokes, just kind of, if your wife loves jokes, or if your husband loves jokes, but let's just, keep them to a minimum, because you really want to use that as a time of connecting. But if you want to say, a knock-knock joke is probably not going to land really well, because you're going to have to wait for them, and then it's going to get like a little weird. But if there was a joke like, two nuns walk into a bar, one ducks, you know what I mean? I don't know, something like that. If that is a goofy joke that you think, or that you read on a Laffy Taffy, I saw this on a Laffy Taffy wrapper and I wanted to share it with you. I want to help you smile today. I just want to bring a smile to your face or something like that. Okay. And women, don't think that he's trying to tell you something. He's not. No, men are not sending subliminal messages, and women don't send subliminal messages and hope that he just gets it. Okay. He's not. Just make that a sweet, sweet journal. It's called a shared journal. All right. Go on a walk, moving your body, side to side. It opens up this conversation without pressure. If you're walking side by side, no one's standing in front, no one's behind, but when you're walking and it's just, I don't know, it's great blood flow. It's just super wonderful. Your endorphins from working out are just going to be like, oh my gosh, we're so excited. We're moving. This is great. Woo-hoo. I'm not saying run ahead of your partner, just saying go for a walk. I know so many business owners who leave their office. It could be as busy as ever. And they are just like, I don't know. I don't even know what 2 times 2 is. I can't even create a thought. I have no creative juices in me. I've got nothing. and then they go for like a 10 to 15 minute walk. They get back to their desk and it's like, you know what I mean? When you go for that walk, it's kind of like, hey, are you someone who, like when you're still getting to know your partner, you're always getting to know your partner, even if you're married, you are consistently, because they are changing. You are changing. You are becoming the person that is 1 year older, 5 years older, 10 years older than you all were right here. You don't want to stay stuck here. You want there to be growth. Okay. You don't want to be married to the guy that was always this guy and always that way and never was there any change. You'd be, it's no fun. Now, the person's always chivalrous and they are kind and selfless. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. Because those characters are people's character. But I'm just talking about you and your spouse. You are going to grow in this upward trajectory. If not, go for a walk. Okay? Build that different road. Talk about how you can build that different road. All right. Have coffee together. It's just as simple as, do you have $3? Do they have $3? It's just a coffee. And no phones, just your eyes, and just talk about life for 10 minutes. I'm not talking about the kids. That's not what I'm talking about, unless if that is a sore subject. Okay, but this is coffee time. This is coffee time where we talk about the couple. Okay? The kids are an extension of the couple, but you came first. Okay? Where do you want to go to church? Where do you believe in tithing? Do you what's your favorite thing about, like, this is you as a couple. This is finances. This is money. Do you feel like we should donate to this charity? What do you feel about next Tuesday? The Johnsons want to get together and they want to go to lunch with us. Do you have anything going? This is life. Live life. I didn't talk once about job. I didn't talk once about something that someone else did. I didn't antagonize. I'm just having a legit conversation. All right. I'm hitting these really hard because this is our last one and I'm really making sure this is just really a gutful. Okay. So let's talk about single women that are listening. Now, I know that not everyone is married or in a relationship, and I want to talk to the single ladies for a minute. If you're single, this is your time to get to know you. Get clarity about what you love, what inspires you, and what you need. Nothing will be more attractive to a man than a woman who already knows what she wants, what she loves, and what inspires her. What is icky is whenever you meet a man and you're like, oh my gosh, you like bike rides? I love bike rides. I've never ridden a bike, but I love bike rides. Oh, you're inspired by the way that people rescue puppies. Oh my gosh, I love puppies. Puppies are my favorite. Oh my gosh, can I have 5 dogs? I love dogs. And you hate dogs. You know what I mean? Or I hope this is landing well, because when you already know you, that gives them someone to love. You are still going to change and you're still going to grow because your character is always you. My husband knows that I cannot stand lying. I cannot stand cheating. You can't cheat in a game. I've never let my kids cheat in a game. I will never be like, oh my gosh, you're only 5. No, you want to play the game? I'm going to show you how to play the game. Okay. This is my character. This is my moral fiber. This is the way that I'm always going to be. That I don't like lying and I don't like cheating at all. Not cheating the system, not cheating on shortcuts. I was never that way as a nurse. I'm not that way now. I don't appreciate when people cut corners. I don't appreciate when people have low quality and low ethics and low morals. That's me. That my husband already knows that about me. But that was the way that I was before I met him. And he knew that and knows, he still to this day knows that is part of my fiber. It is woven in me and that is me. And he understands that, and he doesn't try to change me. Okay? All right. Know you, ladies. Know you. All right. So get clarity about what you love, what inspires you, and what you need. Ask yourself these things, okay? There's only 3. What kind of movies do you enjoy? Do you need a movie that has a specific rating? I knew that I needed a movie that had a specific rating, and I knew that there were no's. There were no's to this specific type of movie. And whenever I met when I was dating my husband, he's like, oh, yeah. Great. Yes, absolutely. And to this day, that is still very much part of the fabric of our relationship being so strong, because I already set that foundation and he was agreeable. I'm not saying that everything that I wanted to do, or then he was like, yes, absolutely. He has his own decisions. He came to the table with his own things. And I was like, I love that. Let's do it. All right. What kind of conversation lights you up? What kind of conversation makes you so excited that you're just like, this I could talk about for hours? Okay? Because that's you. Could you talk about for hours about how the temperature in your home should always be this because you knew that germs, blah, blah, blah? Is that something that means so much to you? I mean, what lights you up? Does this particular organization that you love, and you really want to make sure that this foundation is always cared for because they have such a great backbone and they do such wonderful things for people? What lights you up? What makes you so excited? Getting a new car every year, does that light you up? Does that make you so excited? Your partner may be like, that is my favorite thing about you. I love that you want a new car every year. I love that you love to lease a car. You know why? Because I love variety too. There's somebody for everybody out there. What kind of people bring you peace, not pressure, into your life? What kind of people are the ones that pour into your cup instead of the ones that pour into your cup and expect for it to be poured back in really quickly? Because that's not peace. You just got filled and then you had to give it back. There are people that drain you. There are people that will be like, oh my gosh, really, really, really? Okay, well also, let me just tell you about me and this 5 hours about me. And you're like, blah, okay? Because I'm telling you, when you're dating, that's not healthy to just be like their counselor. You are not your significant other's counselor. Can you receive counsel where they're wanting to speak to you and to receive judgment or to receive criticism that's constructive? I would like to counsel with you and talk about this. Should we give Johnny $5 for the field trip, or should Johnny have to earn it by going and mowing the grass? Okay, that's what it is. What is it that just brings so much peace, not pressure? That's not a pressure-filled conversation. Okay? If it is, then we need to talk about your stress level. All right. So this is also a time to learn what safe and healthy dating looks like. You're going to love this. Okay? I've always loved the idea of safe first meetings. I don't know if you know this, but this is a real thing, and I love providing this education. Maybe you meet for coffee, or maybe it's a double date where both of you bring a friend. I don't know what dating app you use. I don't know. I don't even know if it's a blind date and you were introduced by a friend. It does not matter. I am a fan of safe first meeting. This takes away the awkwardness. This helps you stay safe, and it allows you to observe the other person and how they interact. And not just with you, how they interact with other people. And I'm going to tell you this. So, let's say someone is interested in taking you on a date. And you're like, okay, but I am willing to do a safe first meeting. And they're like, well, what's a safe first meeting? Well, I bring a friend that is a girl. I'm going to bring a friend that is a girl. And then you bring a friend that is a guy. And then we do this safe first meeting. It's the four of us. You and I are getting to know each other. And then our friends know us. You can ask our friends questions. I can ask your friend a question about you. And so we can get to know each other. And then it's like a quick 30-minute cup of coffee. Go grab a tea. Go grab an ice cream cone. It doesn't matter, right? Where you're actually having this safe first meeting. And then your friend, if your friend gets the ick, okay, or if he starts flirting with your friend, you already know that's a no-go, right? If you find his friend cuter, you guys need to have a conversation about, hey, I enjoyed meeting with you, but I actually, I don't know, but let's just talk about your safe first meeting, okay? Is if you decided that you both were like, okay, I like you, I'm interested, I'm connecting, I like the way that you talk to my friend, I like the way that you talk to your friend, I'm observing this, and then it is polite to say, I could see you again if you would like, and they would say, I would love to take you on a date, I would love to take you to dinner. That way, there's no one's getting married at this very safe first meeting, okay? Your friend is going to ask so many questions, and I'm not talking about drilling the guy. I'm just saying, and this could be the opposite. So if you are a guy watching this, you would bring a guy, okay? It's just, that's just what it is. And if your best friend's a girl, I would be very much open with, it's just best if you bring a fella. Guys, it's best if you bring a fella. Women, it's best if you bring a female. All right. If you have any more questions, let's talk about it. If it's meant to be, it'll go somewhere. All right. If not, that's okay. Because you know why? Every experience, it teaches you what you value. All right. So I'd love to hear from you all in the comments. What are some non-intimate ways you show love and connection about people you care about? And it could really be as simple like morning text, where you cook together, or even you run errands side by side. Those are great. So share your favorite ones below. And if you've ever, if you're going to try some of these ideas, y'all let them know. All right. Caring for your whole self. I also want to bring this back to self-care because intimacy does start with how you feel in your own body. When you're tired, overworked, undernourished, your body doesn't have the energy for connection. That's why I always remind my clients, rest, it's not optional. It's necessary. Get enough sleep, eat a balanced meal that nourishes you, stay hydrated, move your body. Okay, not for appearance, but for energy and food, okay? Move your body, get it going, stay hydrated, go for a walk, okay? If you notice that your hormones are changing, could be perimenopause or postpartum or stress related, that is definitely a great time to book a call with me. That would be for a holistic health consultation, and let's have a discussion. We'll look at your whole picture, like energy, hormones, sleep, nutrition, and I do help you find that natural balance for sure. And I think outside the prescription bottle. So let's talk about practical support and the next steps. Now, if you're thinking, I have so many supplements in my pantry and I don't even know what's what, I totally hear you. You saw a video, you saw someone else's recommendation for another thing and you got it and then you don't know what to do or how to use it. I definitely recommend you book an appointment for the Supplement Clarity program because during that call, we go over your actual supplements together. And you bring what you've already have. We talk about how to use them safely and which ones might overlap. Like, why are you, like let's bring that cost down. And this one over here already has everything. So we're not having to buy all these different things that are going to expire. So just put it all in one bottle. I'm not saying take everything here and put it in one bottle. I'm just saying that I could look at your ingredient deck and I could tell if it's already there. Okay. Over here versus buying this one that's 150. This one's the 200 and this one does that. There's so many different things that you could be like, oh, how about this as a wonderful idea? It's phenomenal. So I recommend that you go to selfcareuniversityok.com and I recommend that you send me a message and tell me which of the programs you're interested in, the certified intimacy coach consultation, the holistic health consultation, or the supplement clarity. And if you're like, I don't know, you talked about a lot of them, but I just want to know, like, where should I start? Let's go ahead and have a conversation. One of the things that I would like to invite you to, if you're really wanting to get real deep into like knowing more about hormone balance, intimacy, whole body restoration, I absolutely recommend the Vibrant Woman Project. It's a 90-day journey. It is designed exactly for you, and we will go into that. More about that is on the website, selfcareuniversityok.com. So as we wrap up today's Frisky Friday, I do want you to remember this. Whether you're in a relationship or you're single, your worth is not defined by your level of desire. You're still valued. You're still whole, and you can still be loved and deeply loved, for sure. Everyone is deserving of love. Everyone, even if you think you're a narcissist and you are just looking to change, I recommend that you really do some soul searching. Find your a really good licensed practicing counselor. Find some holistic ways that you can manage that so that you can actually be the partner you actually desire to be when you meet Mr. or Mrs. Right. So connection is building, it's building the small things, okay? You're building these small different things to become something beautiful and wonderful, right? Like kindness, communication, curiosity. Those are all wonderful building blocks, okay? So thank you so much for joining me today. If this has been a blessing to you, please share this with other men and women who might need this gentle reminder that love isn't always about sparks. I mean, sometimes it's really just about this steady warmth. Okay. So my name is Nurse Connie, and I am the owner and founder of Self-Care University OK. And I just want you to remember that your body is not broken. It is waiting for you to listen. And I hope that you listen to these messages and that you find actually the beautifully you that you know is there. This has been a long conversation, and I know that you probably had to put this in different segments in your world, but if you watch the whole thing, that's totally fine. And I recommend you check out other videos that I have. And we'll talk soon. Thank you.